plays, and the thing is he does it quietly.
Second down and 5. Rob Carpenter in motion. Here is Bowie, and he gets ground and loses. Well, Rudolph was trying to block, but Victor Green spoiled the party. And
Victor Green came on a blitz. Rudolph just couldn't quite get there on time. If he could have gotten there, that thing opened wide up. Watch 64 right down here. Green comes there, and he just runs right by him. Had Bowie been able to get to the hole to the left a little bit, there was some running room.
Timeout called by the Jets as Green leaves the field. While we have a moment, we want to thank some people for their fine work in bringing you tonight's telecast. The producer of our game, Richie Zients, the director, Artie Kempner, and of course we'd like to thank George Cummings and our friends at Channel 29 for all of their fine efforts in bringing you this game from Jackson, Mississippi. Chris Visser and Dave Forrest working up here on a hot, muggy night, but an enthusiastic crowd to see in this second preseason game. It's 25 years since they had an NFL preseason game here. Eagles draft picks, and of course some of them are naturals already.
Yeah, we talked about Mamuli does some things well, especially up the field. He's got to learn to come back underneath. Bobby Taylor, you want to start to see him hit a little bit more, but he shows some great awareness. Second week in a row. Barrett Brooks, the tackle, he's going to be okay. He's going to give them some depth in that offensive line. And then Jefferson, although small, needs to get bigger, will also give you a guy you can spell the defensive ends with.
Third and 9, and the pass is tipped and caught.
Intercepted
by Brian Hennessy. Hennessy got the tip, so he alertly kept the ball in the hands of the Eagles, but it'll be fourth down on the left, and a punting situation coming up. Taylor, by the way, with an interception tonight to help his cause. And a timeout called by the Jets, so they have used up all of their timeouts as Barr comes to the sideline.
Well, at the top of the game, we talked about having to find some depth in the defensive line. I don't think you really saw it out there tonight. And then clearing up the tight end picture, and unless we can get the tapes and watch each guy block, it looks muddled to me again.
You know, Jimmy Johnson did well in the second half of the play, but we don't know what he did in play in and play out. And you mentioned the depth of the defensive line. A couple of guys hurt tonight.
But you also got out of Guy McIntyre something that you don't have from the other guys, and that's a guy who can get to the outside and open up that offense. And you saw when he came in, that offense opened up. Charlie Garner's a big plus, you know that. I think
Barnett.
Yeah, Barnett. Again, we talked about earlier, it's still going to come down to number 12, and he's got to be consistent.
Jeff Beckley will kick it away, and Morrell and Bryant back deep.
Let go now.
That's Morrell back at the 15-yard line. Nice forward. You brought out a good point, because the Eagles had trouble going outside in the first half, and then when McIntyre came in, all of a sudden they were able to run those outside plays, which of course the 49ers did so successfully.
Right. The thing is, we wanted to see Lester Holmes move to tackle, but we never got that chance to watch him tonight. They kept him in at guard, and they moved Panos into center, so apparently that Ray Rhodes wanted to look at a couple different combinations in there. But I think overall, not a bad job by the offensive line. They did a pretty good job of protecting the quarterback in the passing game. And then early on, especially when they were running inside down the goal line when Waters made the touchdown, they showed some power.
Winding down to 2 minutes remaining. First down on the 29-yard line, and the pass is caught, and a flag is down. Henderson is all over Graybeck. Henderson is an aggressive player.
Yeah, I think he's got a chance to make this team too. Barry Wilburn.
Pass interference. Number 26 of the defense. Penalty decline. First down.
That's not a bad penalty.
Yeah, and with all the offenses, the wide open offenses now, like the Atlantas and the run and shoots and all that stuff, you have to have good DBs. You have to have guys who can play the slot and outside. Henderson's one of those guys who's showing pretty well here.
First down and 10 on the 40-yard line of the Jets. Saka has nowhere to go. And that'll take care of him as the clock stops with 1:58 remaining. The 2-minute warning. That was Baskin and Stubbs that time. 2-minute warning here in Jackson. Back here with the 2-minute warning. 1:58 remaining in the game. Rodney Peete came in relief of Randall Cunningham and injured his hand and came out of the game. We have seen all 4 Eagles quarterbacks with Fiedler and Barr seeing action, and now Saka, former Penn Stater, leading the Jets, who are trailing by 3, but they are out of timeouts. 2nd down and 12 from the 38-yard line. So at this point now, it's about trying to win the game. Saka has whirled the time, and the pass is dropped. Incomplete right now. Let's go down to Don Thomas.
Hey, Dick, very quickly, I just want to update that Rodney Peete situation. I had a long talk with Eagles trainer Otho Davis. What he did, if you can look at my hand here, there's a tendon that goes below your fingers, in this case the 4th finger. It kind of moved a little bit. It's strained. It's a rest-only injury. They're hopeful it'll be all right in a couple of days, but obviously with 2 more exhibition games before the regular season, they won't take any chances. They're going to let him rest it at least for a couple of days because he is important as the #2 quarterback on this team. Back up to Richard and Matthew.
Thank you very much, Donald. And it's 3rd down and 12. Saka's toss is dropped again, so now the Jets are playing dropsies when they have a chance to get into Eagle territory and maybe challenge in this game. Fred Baxter was the intended receiver, and Zeke Bratkowski, well, he can't teach him to hold on. Jets out of timeouts. Eagles still have 2 remaining. So it'll be 4th down and 12, and the Jets, trailing by 3, will try one of their 4th and 12 plays.
Go to the book. Hey, there's a 4th and 12.
Here's a 4th and 12. Saka again has time, and his pass incomplete. And over the head of the defender, Bobby Taylor, who was the closest to the ball, and so the Jets will turn the ball over to the Eagles on downs with 1:40 remaining. Update on scores. So the Carolina Panthers are now 2-1 in preseason after beating the Broncos, who beat the 49ers twice. So how much stock do you put in these games as far as wins and losses? Other games, Buffalo beating Dallas 9-7. That's the final score. We should have put our hands on that because you folks can see that contest on Fox coming up after the game by the miracle of videotape. 1st and 10 on the 38-yard line, and the Eagles will just use up the time with Jets unable to stop the clock.
So a couple questions answered and a couple more opened up. What are we going to do about our depth, our consistency? Some things worked, some things didn't. And but you'll be able to get into the tapes, watch those things, study them, see who came through for you, and see who's fallen behind. Those questions will all be answered by noon tomorrow.
Tell you one thing, Ray Rhodes doesn't need a kicker.
No, he's got that down.
Gary Anderson with a 42-yarder. The time ran out in the first half, and then kicking a 27-yarder, which proved to be the winner. The 1 touchdown for the Eagles. Ricky Waters with a 17-yard scamper up the middle, and Fred Barnett with a tremendous game. 5 catches for 90 yards, including a 43-yarder. So Fred Barnett looks to be even stronger, and now if Calvin Williams comes into the play, you're looking at a team with offensive weapons, and not many teams in the NFL can say that.
I completely agree with you. And you have a few of them, not just one. You got Barnett, you got Williams outside, you got Charlie Garner inside, you got Waters. You're going to take Guy McIntyre and stick him at guard and open up that outside game as well. You got Kurt Gouveia with every vowel in his name in the alphabet, who really played well early.
Looks like Bobby Taylor is going to develop into a player, and the linebackers look strong. Charlie Garner has another outstanding game. 2 in a row for Garner. He gained 60 yards on 8 carries. As the final seconds tick off, Ray Rhodes is 2-0 in preseason as an NFL head coach. And Rich Kotite talking to his former players who come over to him. The final score, the Philadelphia Eagles defeat the New York Jets here at Jackson, Mississippi by a score of 13-10. Randall Cunningham, he'll go to Bubby Brister. We'll be back. Coming up on tape delay, the Dallas Cowboys Buffalo Bills American Bowl game with Pat Summerall and John Madden from Sky Dome in Toronto. Don't forget it's football. Gary Anderson 8 for 8 in preseason. Rich Kotite said goodbye to everyone on the Eagles except one man, and vice versa. So our thanks to Matt Millen and Don Tollefson. This is Dick Stockton saying so long from Jackson, Mississippi, where the Eagles beat the Jets 13-10. So long, everybody.
Following is a presentation of Turner Sports.
Leadership.